Okay, this week's gone by pretty quickly. Happy hump day, everyone. Alright, so let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Let's see. I guess my low is the fact that actually, did anything bad happen at all yesterday, to my knowledge? Well, I mean, there was something I had to do that I wasn't told about until like the very last second. That kind of bothered me a little bit, but nothing that's world ending. I mean, we've all been there where we're not told about something that we have to do until like the absolute final second, and it just completely throws off your day. We've all been there. But that's really about the extent of what my low is, because nothing particularly bad happened. My high is I did get to spend the evening with my folks, and I actually saw something for the first time in a long time that I think I probably could talk about right now, just simply because I have been kind of not completely ragging on it, but I have mentioned how, yeah, I'll get to that in a second. And my act of kindness was, today is actually going to be garbage day, but last night I took the time to take the garbage cans out to my parents' curbside for them. So I did that for them. That was really cool. And also, after dinner, I helped put the stuff away. We got pizza and wings for picking pizza. It was really good. And I gotta say, Picking Pizza did a really good job of the wings. Well, here's the thing. They kind of did mess up the order a little bit because my father he ordered extra cheese, and it didn't really look like it was extra cheese. At least not from what I've seen. Because if you've got, anyone who's ordered extra cheese knows that, like, extra cheese on a pizza, I mean, they know, like, a regular cheese pizza would have, like, that sort of combination of, like, white and golden brown kind of because of all the cheese above and everything. With extra cheese, you see mostly, like, white with not much golden brown, because again, that's a high mozzarella cheese they put on there. So really more of the former than the latter. But the wings are actually cooked perfectly. Like, if you guys know me, I'm a wing guy. Wings are my hors d'oeuvre of choice on my full course menu of life. You guys know this about me at this point. And here's the thing, I don't really have a favorite wing. You know, the drums, flats. Actually, years ago, the elbow room used to have the wing tip on the flat. That was great. I used to like gnaw on the wing tip a little bit. I don't know. I'm weird like that, I guess. But whenever I have a flat, I just I take the wing like this, I'm like, oh, well, I do that, right? And the meat was just falling right off the bone like that. That's a sign that a wing is cooked pretty darn perfectly. So, any wing fans out there, I'm sure there's some wing fans out there watching this. You know what I'm talking about. So we had that for dinner, and then we watched The Voice, and that's where our tale begins. So last night was the official first episode of The Voice battles, and if you've been watching me long enough for any given period of time, then you know that I've talked about how I've always felt that the auditions for The Voice are the best. Then it kind of goes downhill from there. Last night was the first time I legit gave The Voice battles another chance, let's say. I mean, again, I never really hated them. I just felt like, you have the best part of the show in the very beginning, and then everything else seems kind of meh in comparison. So there really isn't much point in watching. So, I mean, I gave it a chance, and the fact that I was with my mom and dad too, because we like watching that, because they like watching that stuff too. I guess it's one of those things where, even though it's not technically for me, if I'm with like a group of people, or in this case, my mom, my dad, and we're watching it, I'm like, sure, okay, I'll give it a watch. I mean, you know what? It actually happened the same thing with Poltergeist the other day, where I finally saw it all the way through for the first time. I was with my dad. And my dad's seen the movie. He knows about. He's seen that movie before. He knows exactly, what goes on there. So, I guess that's the thing. If it's something that I know is good, but I'm not particularly having the full level of enjoyment that I know I should be having, I really do feel like seeing something like that with a group of people would really enhance the experience for me. The best example I could really talk about is, I'll never forget this. Back in 2014, it was 2013. 2013. Back in 2013, there was a movie that came out called The World's End. A little bit of backstory though. 2013, at least compared to 2012, was kind of like a mediocre sort of year of movies. I mean, there were some good movies that came out in 2013. You had Pacific Rim, you had American Hustle, Dallas Buyers Club, movies like that, right? Actually, you also had Wolf of Wall Street came out that year too. So, you had some pretty good movies that came out that year. I mean, just not as great and consistently great as 2012 was. One movie that came out that really was good was a movie called The World's End. It was the third and final film in what was dubbed as the Cornetto trilogy. The first one was Shaun of the Dead, the second one was Hot Fuzz, and the third one was going to be The World's End. If you don't know what the Cornetto trilogy is, it's a trilogy of movies that were written by Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright, starred Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and directed by Edgar Wright. So pretty much a collaboration of three guys. And because I really never saw I saw Shaun of the Dead years later on TV. I had never seen Hot Fuzz before, but everyone says that movie's hilarious. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch The World's End. At least give me something, right? And I saw that movie. I had a good time. But I was not laughing my head off the way I was supposed to be. I mean, what I was watching was funny, and I acknowledge that it was funny. But there are times where, and maybe this is a bit black and white for me, but if I think something's funny, I gotta be absolutely laughing my head off. And I was not doing that at all watching The World's End. Yet a lot of people also think that movie's funny. I think I need to see it with a better crowd. That's the thing. So, any movie in the Cornetto trilogy, actually, we are nearing Halloween. Watching the Cornetto trilogy would be a pretty good call to do. I know Shaun of the Dead you could, because that's the horror, that's the legit horror movie. Those zombies and everything. Hot Fuzz, that's more like action, but there are elements of horror in that movie. Specifically, the greater good. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, one more. The greater good. Okay. Comedy comes in threes. Hey, speaking of which, that's what I'm talking about now. And The World's End, that's supposed to be the sci-fi one. Featuring aliens and such. So, I need to see those movies. Movies like those, and any other examples, or really horror in general, I need to see it with at least one person who knows the genre much better than I do, and has more passion about that particular genre than I do. My point is, it's like that with movies, and it's definitely like that with shows like The Voice, where, again, the battles don't really interest me that much. Just the auditions do. So last night was the first time I legit saw my first set of battles all the way through. At least through that episode. Because it was only an hour long. And it was only 3 battles in an hour, which, yeah, it does seem like it's not much. But then again, you have 56 contestants, and 8 people are gone, So they're trying to whittle it down from 56 down to essentially 28, which is roughly what it is. So there should be 28 different battles. You're going to have, you've already had 4 so far. So that's 24. You're essentially going to have 9 battles next week because it's 2 hours on Monday and an hour on Tuesday. So altogether that'd be 9, roughly. So that'd be 13. Another 9 a week later. That would be 22. And then, like, the beginning of that third week, you'd have, like, a couple battles left and then work on, like, the knockouts and stuff like that where the teams go after, like, it's team versus team rather than teammate versus teammate, something like that. So, I don't know. I'm thinking, actually, watching the voice battles is going to be hard because I already get home late enough as it is when I visit my folks, especially when I watch stuff like The Voice or tonight The Masked Singer, which I'm really looking forward to starting the new group. I'll get to that in a second. I already get home late enough as it is. Like, and that's just after 1 hour. From 8 to 10, that's like, let's just say I'm pushing like 11:30 midnight when I finally go to sleep. So that's not really, it wouldn't be very prudent for me. I'll put it that way. But I can definitely say that having given watching the voice battles a decent chance and having seen it with at least a couple people who are also relatively enthused by it, I'm like, okay, this is definitely, worth watching. So I'll do that. So yeah. I mentioned I'm watching The Masked Singer tonight, and we have a new group because last week the first group of contestants ended with the harp pretty much sweeping everybody, which, I mean, the harp has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it's easy for me to say that if The Masked Singer were to end right now, I'd give the golden mask trophy to the harp, no questions asked. But obviously, that's not how the season's going to work. My question is, I'm just wondering, like, because I counted there was like 22 sets of contestants, and 10 of them are already gone, I think. Or actually, it was 2 and 2, so 8. So 8 of them are already gone. I'm sorry, 8. Because the first episode was 4, and then when 3 of them were gone because the harp was remaining, then 2 more came, the harp was still remaining, then 2 more. So 4 plus 2 plus 2 is 8. Okay. So definitely, like, over the span of the next couple of weeks, we're going to be going through that entire group. So throughout the entire month of the rest of this month and maybe early November, we're going to be getting this next group. And then throughout November, we're finishing up the third group. And then we get to the semifinals, which, I guess when they get to the semi, because they're supposed to only be having one person go on. Like, every other contestant that doesn't move on, well, obviously gets unmasked. But, like, only one person gets to move on, where usually it's only one unmasking an episode, but now it's multiple unmaskings an episode. So when they get to the semifinals, are they just going to go back to the original formula and just have one unmasking an episode? I think that's what they should do. I mean, it's no secret that pretty much every one of these episodes has already been pre-recorded, and they're just sort of withholding the information until a bit later. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Right now, the only people who know who's been unmasked already are, like, obviously Nick Cannon, the judges, and maybe other producers. And I'm sure they have to sign, like, an agreement, which after the episode airs, like, you're supposed to keep quiet about it. whether you're unmasked or not until like that moment where you're unmasked happens. I mean, seriously, they do a really good. Seriously, you gotta watch The Masked Singer just because they really do a great job of making sure like you have no clue who the person is until you either put the clues together or you just so happen to figure it out yourself. Because when they go over like rehearsing choreography and stuff like that, they literally wear like a giant bodysuit. Not like a bodysuit, but like a jacket kind of, and like a giant like face covering and a helmet and stuff like that that says, "Don't talk to me." Like, that's really like, they are really taking the extra mile here when it comes to like making sure you have no idea who it is. I'm thinking, it's obviously, again, as cool as it would be for someone like me to be on The Masked Singer, I doubt it'll ever happen. But if it ever did, like, would I really be that good at keeping myself, you know, secretive of everybody else? Like, remember I mentioned how they wear that, you know, black jackets, is like, "Don't talk to me" and stuff like that. Like, how do you communicate? Like, because it says "don't talk to me," but like, you know, maybe it's like "don't talk to me" in terms of like small conversations. If like I'm working with like a choreographer, they can talk to me, I guess. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. But there you go. That's what I got. Maybe I am overthinking it a little bit, but it's still fun to speculate on. Just like I hope you like the fact that watching this video was fun. Yeah, I said that part completely wrong. But, you know, if you did like this video, leave a like, and, you know, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. That'd be really cool. Follow me on social media. As always, I am very humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I'm going to have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And remember, if you want to talk channel is going to be here to lend an ear, always have your back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.